Hello everyone, my name is Felipe Bonny and I'm here with my good friend Luis to tell you guys a bit of mindset for fighters. Mostly of other faculties of what the neuroscience call today the three different levels of the brain. So we go to the core, what they call the reptile brain, the ancient part of the brain. So this is responsible for the fight, flight or freeze mode. So we basically have three different options of actions and how to react or act consciously on these situations. It's very important from my perspective to get to know where this mentality of the warrior mindset comes from. From the beginning of times when we were just a bunch of naked human beings running around trying to get some food around the environment, when millions of years ago, we didn't change much regarding our function of the body and the function of our own mind. So when we are fighting, mostly of other faculties of what the neuroscience call today the three different levels of the brain. So we go to the core, what they call the reptile brain, the ancient part of the brain. So this is responsible for the fight, flight or freeze mode. So we basically have three different options of actions and how to react or act consciously on these situations. So whenever you are fighting, your brain is operating on those three levels. So as much as you can try and train to get used to these three different levels, you're gonna get comfortable in those situations. So you're not gonna be surprised, you're not gonna be without conscience of what you're doing. Many times what happens when we are fighting and we are entered on this mode, we don't remember what happened. And you know why that happens? Because it's a mechanism of defense of our own brain. What happens a lot of times as well is when we are fighting, especially in jiu-jitsu, sometimes we get in a choke, we get in the position and we can pass out. So when you pass out, what happens? Your body shuts down, your brain shuts down. You're still there, your body is still there, but your brain is shuts down. Why does that happen? Because your body is trying to preserve your own integrity. So before you shut down, you have to be aware of what's going on. And there are many techniques that you can practice on your daily basis when you're with your partner training before you get into the competition. So if you get to know yourself to where is your limit and where you can go, how far you can go with your body, how far you can go with your own mind. This is very important. So from now on, we're going to be teaching you a few training tips and a few training exercises for you to get to know your own limit. I hope you enjoyed that video.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure.
What do you do for you keep calm when you have a stressful situation? What the tip that you can do? What the tip that you can give to the fighters when he's one day before competition, or he's very nervous, he can't eat well, he can't sleep well. He's there. Sometimes when I used to compete, I used to have diarrhea. So I eat, the mind makes my body different. And sometimes when I get there and I was not prepared, I feel like I lost 70% of my strength. it's some I had fights that I fought like 20% only. So I was so nervous. I was healthy actually. I was trained, but inside my head was like a fear. Sometimes a fear of show to my teammates that I was not able to win. You understand? Mm-hmm. Or I was thinking about the next belt because I was color belt, and I think if I win, I'm gonna win the next belt. If I lost, I'm not gonna get the belt. So this makes me oblige me myself to win. What I'm asking you, it's what I have to do about meditation or about what you do in mindset for you keep calm and you have what I think is how you can get the same feeling when you're gonna fight as the same feelings as you're gonna have a meal with your family. Like cool down and have a meal.
Very good question, Luis. So what I like to do and I like to practice a lot is, as Luis said, what is this meditation state of mind, yeah, so to speak. It's like being in the present. That's the tricky part. It's very simple, but at the same time it's very hard to achieve, because as Luis was saying, when you know that tomorrow or the day after you're gonna be in a competition, your brain, your mind start to go there already. You're here, right? So you're not fighting. You're here, you're having a meal with your family, you're taking a shower, you're playing with your kid, you are working, but your mind is all the time going to the future, saying, man, tomorrow is the competition. I have to train. Oh, I need to do this. I need to do that. And so you realize that you're not actually doing whatever you're doing. Your mind is going forward in time, is going to the future. This is the place where we call it as anxiety. So you start to become anxious, you start to become nervous, you start to have fear of what might happen in the future, and you don't even know if that future is gonna happen. You know, you start to create many different scenarios on your own mind. So this is not the reality. Many times you're fantasizing possibilities. So what we have to do, if you want to make your mindset part of the warrior mindset, is that what many ancient cultures did for many years. You have to train your mind. You don't need to train only your body, you need to train your mind as well. Because if you don't train your mind, as Luis was saying, your body might be sharp. No, I train a lot, went to the gym, I trained, I did 5 rounds, I fought every time, 1 hour, no stop, training all the time. But when you're training, your mind is there, your body is there. That's why you can do it. But when you're not there, when your mind's not there, when your mind is worried, you start to become anxious and you start to not breathe properly, so you start to become more fatigued. And when you're competing, a lot of times it's very common, very normal, when the first fight is the hardest one. Why?
For sure.
Because you're not used to that. The adrenaline pumps up and you start to get all stiff and your breath, so it's a punch of many different levels in many different occasions of your mind, your body, your chemicals in your body, everything starts to change.
The first fight is always the worst. As soon, in my case, as soon as I get the gi there, it think like, no, now I'm in my world. Now I know what's happening because I've been training a lot. But still, when I'm there and you have the situation, because when we get there, sometimes people be staring each other. So it's a fight of brains. Psychological, man. So the guys look to you and kill you, and yeah, I just gonna submit you, whatever. You have to. I want to go deep on this subject, because what I do, I'm talking about energy now. Okay, what I do when I start to go for a place that I'm gonna compete at the day, for example, in MMA fight, it happens, and I feel like bring the opponent energy to me. In my head, I think like I'm emptying him, I'm running him out of energy. So with my eyes, I bring the energy, and I feel like full of, I feel the energy like vibrating, and I feel like a balloon full of the opponent's energy. And it's so crazy that on the beginning, or some people, they don't believe, because I have been training and I have been feeling, because jiu-jitsu is too much energy to touch, man. When you touch, you transfer energy a lot. It's unbelievable. If you can tune your mind to feel this kind of energy, how you feel? You can feel like sensations of good or sensations of bad, or you can sensations of heat or sensations of cold. So you need sensations of I'm heat inside, I'm cold, because it happens on the fight. I have fights that I was freezing, like I lost, of course, this fight that I felt like freezing, because I feel like cold water on top, and I was, I have no strength, man. I'm gonna fight, and I'm gonna lose the fight. It happens sometimes, but when I think about suck the energy, and I look to the guy, and I look at him blue. I don't know how I see blue, but I see him like sad. People are cold. I see blue cold. I can see his soul. I don't know. I look, man. I feel like a giant when I get there. But this guy is afraid. I can feel the fear, or I feel the mindset. If the guy is not confident enough, he can be very good on jiu-jitsu, but here he's not winning. I see a lot of people that it's a beast on training, never wins a competition. I see many guys, they are average. We beat him all the time when he goes to competition, winning all the time, he doesn't lose. I have many guys like this, student and friends and people that I know. Yeah? How you manage this kind of energy in your day? I'm not talking about competition now, because your expertise is meditation and these things. It's not you are black belt, but your expertise is more than jiu-jitsu. It's about yoga and these things. That's why I'm asking you this, because I don't have opportunity to ask for someone about energy. People, you crazy? So what do you think about this kind of, I call the energy to me to use against him, or sometimes I lost so much energy that I feel weak and I can't do the things.
Right. I think there are two very important points that I would like to say about energy. First, we can think about as in a perspective of electricity, right? What is electricity? It's energy, right? So when you look at a battery, right? Think at a battery, and there is a positive side and a negative side. And when you connect the two inside of the remote control, the computer, battery, the camera, whatever, it becomes a circuit of energy. And the energy that is inside the battery fuels the electronic device, whatever it is, the cell phone, the camera, whatever, the remote control, okay? So this is not about some superstition. This is physics. This is science. This is how energy works. So we, as human beings, we have a factory, a house power of energy inside ourselves. So we can manage our own energy. And how we do that? Mainly through the breathing exercise. So when you breathe, when you have more oxygen, when you have more an alkaline body, you are more healthy. You are like less propense to get sick. You are more optimism. So what happens when you start to become anxious, nervous? Can you realize that maybe you're not doing anything? Like it's not a physical challenge, but your heartbeat start to accelerate, and your breath start to.
The chemicals in your
in your body start to change. All of this happens because of your mind. When you don't have a mindset to say, okay, now I'm just talking. There's no need to be nervous. Some people are very anxious and nervous just to talk in front of the camera, and they just can't do it.
And about the energy that we don't see.
So it's the same as I was saying before. Can you see the energy that fills up the light? Can you see the energy that comes from the sun? We cannot see that. It's invisible to the naked eye. It's the same thing that if you want to check the temperature of the body scan. Have you seen that? When you look at the person and you see the body scan that can show the body temperature that goes around 36, 36.5 degrees Celsius, the body is like yellow and orange and red colors, right? So this is the heat, the energy. And then when the person is cold, when the person is like with the body temperature too low, the colors start to change, start to become more dark, not bright. It starts to become more bluish, like color of ice, because the energy is very low. And this is, as I said before, you can go and check on the internet and any body scan temperature, and then you see that what I'm talking about. So when you have less energy, when you have less movement, you condense. Think as water. When water is frozen, the ice is hard, isn't it? It's cold. It sticks together. If you heat, it becomes liquid. And if you heat more, it becomes a vapor, a gas. And if you heat more, it's steam. And if you heat more, it disappears. You cannot see it anymore, but it's still there. If you go to the lab and you do the experiment, you see that. It's very basic science, right? But sometimes some people don't really understand how things work, and they think that we are talking about something that's mysticism or some fantasy. Oh, I don't believe this. It's not about that. It's about how things actually work. and the mind creates the reality.
Because on the Chinese medicine, we have the flood the
Influx of energy.
influx of energy. So we have an energy that flows from here to here, from the back to here. There is one energy that around us that pass to the foot and go around. That's or like this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think this kind of influx of energy that's the key for we balance. If we breathe and make this energy flow properly, we rebalance
Yes.
our energy. And now for you fight, sometimes you have to do an active thing, like
Exactly.
active.
Activate the energy.
No, not activate. It's not passive, but active.
Mhm.
Not passive, but active. Because passive is like, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna go there and do my thing. I don't think about the energy. But when I'm active, I'm think about. And you start to breathe and call the energy to you and keep your mind focused on the breathing and the energy.
Yes.
And this avoid people that is active takes your energy passively without you know.
Mhm.
Because you sometimes you don't know.
You don't realize.
You're there and and think about your life there, but your opponent, he's staring on you, and people are, I don't care, don't believe, I don't care. But if you start to do actively, and you start to do this, the fight is before goes to the match. It's on the warm up, I don't know, the day before or 1 month before, because you think about the fight. And you and your energy and your thinking comes and goes whatever you want. If you want to your thinking go to the opponent, he goes. If your thinking you want to go the people you love, your thinking goes to where you think. So if you think about the fight and start to work yourself for the time,
Prepare yourself.
and there you close as como é que é carapaça, assim, tipo like a shield. You close yourself, think. You don't be close it, give me a lot here, like. No, it's like just think. You think you have a shield, invisible shield around you. In that shield, you can bring energy inside and you can expel energy. So you manage your field of energy. That's what I think. I'm correct?
Yes, yes, but this is more, how can I say,
Advanced.
advanced thing. So we can begin with very simple exercise that anyone can do it, and then you can see for yourself how it works. In India, in yoga, there is a whole part of yoga that treats just of this, and they call it pranayamas, which are the exercises for different breathing techniques. There are techniques so if you want to go to sleep. There are techniques if you want to get ready for action. There are techniques if you want to make better digestion. There's different, a huge amount of variations of different techniques. And this is the basic principle of this kind of energy that Luis is talking about. So just try now, you, right here, right now, you're wherever you are, try to do this exercise. Try to count for how long can you be without breathing. So if I'm not prepared, I'm just gonna be here. So I do this exercise a lot, so I can manage to be quite a long time without oxygen because I'm used to it. But if you're not used to it, you're just gonna be out of breath very fast. And that what's gonna happen, you're gonna start to feel slow and you start to become tired because you don't have energy. Oxygen, very simple, oxygen equals energy. If you don't have oxygen, you don't have energy. So when you're fighting, you're not breathing properly, you're spending a lot of energy, you're not putting energy back, oxygen, you're gonna get tired. And it doesn't matter how good you are. You can be the best jiu-jitsu fighter, you can be the best fighter, MMA, whatever. If you don't have energy, if you don't have oxygen, a 10 years old kid will gonna crack you down because you don't have energy. You cannot even lift your arm, man. Am I lying?
When the VO2 in a fight that passed the maximum, and you see in MMA, people can't do it like and bang, 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 bang. You just have hit and you can't even lift your arm when the VO2 level goes too much.
Yeah. So what happens? You need to expel the carbon dioxide that's trapped inside your body, inside your blood, and then you need to bring oxygen. Bring the clean oxygen inside so you have energy. And how do you do that? You need to practice. You need to train. You need to train breathing exercise. And we're going to talk about this a lot more in the next videos, okay? I hope you have enjoyed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was very good.
With pleasure.
Us.
Us.